Welcome to the Improving Search, Identifying Security Vulnerabilities, and Complying with Governance Mandates Demo on Demand. This demo explores the importance of multi-term metadata and auto-classification in delivering relevant search results and enabling the identification and protection of privacy data to prevent data breaches and achieve compliance and governance. Every enterprise strives to manage its content efficiently. However, most rely on manual tagging, which invariably translates to inefficient content management. Most taxonomy solutions rely on keywords and thus are unable to extract concepts or multi-word phrases, which is essential for comprehensive search. Inconsistent metadata not only affects search, but any information governance initiative. The approach yielding the best results is one that creates a managed metadata solution based in large part on a statistical analysis of an organization's own content, thus ensuring it is optimized for that environment and able to deliver the right information to knowledge management workers as it is required. Numerous side-by-side comparisons over the past several years have shown concept searching to be more intuitive, effective, and user-friendly than ontology-based academic tools. Many organizations have tried to leverage metadata to manage content. The downfall is when they rely on their end users to manually tag content. Manual tagging is inconsistent, subjective, expensive, and prone to malicious compliance. The Concept Classifier platform automates the process of generating metadata and tagging content with that metadata. It cleans up file share content, removing rot. It improves search, mitigates risk, manages records, and facilitates intelligent migration. The Concept Classifier platform integrates and operates in Microsoft environments, including SharePoint on-premise and online, OneDrive for Business, and Exchange. And it includes our compound term processing engine, which is a key differentiator that is still unique in the industry. Finally, there are advanced taxonomy tools, which I will go into more detail on shortly. But first, a bit about concept taxonomy workflow, which will be the focal point of our first portion of the demonstration. Concept taxonomy workflow allows us to take specific action on content based on its metadata properties to support a variety of information governance initiatives such as data privacy, migration, and records management. Okay, I'd like to start off with a demonstration covering the end user experience. And really, the message that we're trying to deliver here is that for the end user, the action is seemingly magical, seamless. And really, the messaging we also want to hammer home is that our solution requires little, if any, modification to end user behavior. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to demonstrate is a bulk upload of content. I'm going to upload 6 documents, 4 of which are going to be routed to 4 different libraries. And so that's the way that we're going to demonstrate the capabilities of concept taxonomy workflow. And what I'm first going to do is click on the destination libraries just to show you that we haven't pre-populated those libraries with any content. So the first library is a PII library. PII stands for Personally Identifiable Information. Could be things like home address, credit card number, social security number. I'll go over here to our records management library where we have created 3 sub-libraries: a bill of materials library, human resources, and patents, and they're all empty. So let's go ahead and do our bulk upload. So when we do a bulk upload of content, the action is not immediate. There's a little bit of it takes a bit of time. And what is actually happening here is the concept searching server relies on notification from the SharePoint event receivers that content has been uploaded into SharePoint. The reason that's beneficial is by having it structured that way, we avoid any kind of a backup situation. As you know, just about in any organization, the reality is you will have multiple users potentially uploading multiple documents at the same time. So we wouldn't want to do anything to get in the way of that process. And we avoid that issue with relying on the notification from the SharePoint event receivers. So while we're waiting for this, what I'm going to do is upload a single document, because that is a different experience for the end user. With a single document, have the opportunity of a preview pane. And typically this is the point that if an organization has attempted to manually tag documents, this is where you would have a forced drop-down menu, forcing, having a list of potential metadata tags for people to choose from. So any organization that has had to deal with that is typically pleased to see that instead of a forced drop-down menu, that because of work that an administrator has done in the background, there's metadata tags that they already see that will be automatically applied. And all they're going to have to do is click the Save button. And you see with the single document, the effect is much more, is immediate. Okay, now, having made some critical comments about manual tagging, I should say that most organizations do like to have the ability to retain, to retain the ability to manually tag documents. Because sometimes there can be a use, and it's nice to maybe allow power users, subject matter experts to be able to manually tag content. So we do allow for that. So I'm just going to quickly go back to the document that I just uploaded to show how that would work. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to pull up the taxonomy that's in the background. And now I can compare the existing metadata tags with other potential ones. And let's just say that I would like to add civil service as an additional tag. So I just highlight that, click Select, click Save, and you can see how that is added on here. Now in this kind of a scenario, we give added weight to the manual tag. And the reason why that is beneficial is that, invariably an organization will need to reindex or reclassify content over time. And by giving added weight to the manual tag, this ensures that no one is going to have to go back in and re-tag that document. It will remain in place through future reindexing or reclassifying. Okay, so it looks like we've some action has taken place with the other documents. So I did upload a total of 6 documents, and 2 of them were meant to stay here, which they have. And so you can see the action is similar to the single document. Metadata has been applied. Now let's go to the back to the 4 libraries, and I will summarize the action that took place. So first with the PII. So this is a document that had sample credit card information. So it was routed over to the PII library. Content type changed from document, which is the default content type upon upload. So that was changed to PII. Thus, essentially, we assigned a retention code to this document. In addition, I'm going to go to my inbox because I received an email notification that PII content was has been uploaded and quarantined. It's a reality that PII content is usually uploaded accidentally. People just don't know that it's a part of maybe a document. So that's an added notification, an added protection feature that an administrator can be notified and even informed exactly who it was who uploaded the PII document. So let's go back to the records management library and a quick run through here. So with the bill of materials, we had a sample bill of materials report, which was routed over to the bill of materials library. Content type changed to bill of materials. Here we had a sample salary sheet that was routed over to the human resources library. Content type changed to HR. And then finally we had this patents document routed over to the patent library. Content type changed to patent. Additionally, a 17-year retention schedule was assigned to this document. So something that can be very helpful. Now concept searching is not going to delete this document at the end of 17 years, but it's an added notification. And I think anyone who's dealing with records management will agree that one of the challenges with records management is knowing when to delete documents. And so this provides an added level of notification. Okay, when it comes to information governance, it all starts typically with improving search. And so what I'd like to do here in this next demonstration is provide a comparison for search with and without metadata. So first, we're going to just show standard search without metadata. I'm entering in this multi-word phrase, environmental protection. And I'm just going to scroll down to show that it returned 839 results. Certainly quite a few results, and there's going to need to be a way to filter. We need to figure out a way to filter those results. Now, there are some out-of-the-box refiners included with standard SharePoint search. We can refine by result type, by author, and by modified date. Now, while certainly these refiners have some use, they are not the most intuitive refiners, and I think there's a lot of circumstances where these may not be particularly helpful. Now, by contrast, let's take a look at search with metadata. Okay, scrolling down to show you that again, we still have 839 results. We still have the out-of-the-box refiners, but now we have metadata refiners, which are dynamically generated based on the creation of metadata. So a much more intuitive way to refine my result set. And it even shows the number of results associated with each refiner. So let's just say, in an effort to refine this down, I'm also interested in looking at documents that relate to mineral extraction, mining, and quarrying. I see there's 6 documents here, so I can click on that, and I filtered down to those 6 results. So that's great. But you know, 6 results is still a lot of results to go through. So maybe as a way to further refine, I'm interested in finding those documents that also pertain to water quality. So I can click on that, and I've gotten down to 2 results. So in a very short period, with simply 2 clicks, I've managed to filter down my result set from 839 to 2 results. Again, I think you'll agree, a very intuitive process, something that most business users are very comfortable with. Okay, so that concludes the portion of the end user experience of the demonstration. So let's quickly go back to the presentation here. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the administrator experience, which will feature a demonstration of Concept Taxonomy Manager, which is the backbone of our solution. As mentioned, Concept Taxonomy Manager integrates natively with the SharePoint term store, thus ensuring data synchronization, and jumpstarts the process of creating and refining a taxonomy. Okay, so let's start off by creating a sample term set here. I'm going to go into the energy and fuel node, and I'm going to create a term which I'll call coal mining. All right, so as soon as this is done, I see the new topic appear in the tree view structure on the left-hand side, and the first clue is generated automatically based on the title. The concept searching uses word stemming to find documents based on the multi-word pattern coal mining and stem variants, which would include coal mines and coal mine. So we want to find documents relating to coal mining. But if we want to have comprehensive classification, we are going to have to find some additional language to help the engine find all the documents relating to this topic. If I were a subject matter expert, I could certainly think up some of the relevant words, phrases, and terms to type in here, but that is quite difficult to think of all the language that might be relevant. To solve this problem, all we have to do is click this Suggest Clues link, and in a few seconds, concept searching finds all the documents that contain the pattern coal mining, and we can see all the language that is contained in those documents that is common across that specific data set, but uncommon in other data sets. So here what we've done is created a statistical roadmap of an organization's business vocabulary, and we've provided a range of suggestions that can be selected by an administrator that includes assigned scores based on statistical correlation. So 50 is something of a benchmark, conforms to an ANSI standard. If a clue attains a score of 50, that means that the existence of that clue in of itself will cause a document to be tagged as being about coal mining. So I can go through here, I can start to make some selections. And you know what I can also do, because certainly as I'm reading some of these clues, I might have some questions as to why these clues have been deemed so relevant. And for example, I see this one here, excellent majesty. That is doesn't exactly scream out to me as being about coal mining, so maybe I'm a little confused. So maybe to better understand the context, I can actually click on that clue, and it will pull up the documents where that clue appears. So now that I've looked at some of these documents, I get a better sense of the context, and I understand that these are documents that were uploaded from a UK government website. So there's references to excellent majesty, king, lords, parliament. Okay, so I get that now, and maybe I can make a little bit more intelligent decision, and maybe I decide for now I don't want to include that as a clue. Okay, so I have checkmarked some other clues, so I can just go ahead and click Save. And once I do that, it's going to take me back to the clues page, and then we can see how concept searching has identified a variety of language from the organization's own content. Now, all these clues are of the standard type, which means that they're single concepts, single words, or single phrases. But certainly we advocate, in order to get as precise auto classification as possible, we advocate using a variety of clues, have better balance. And to that end, we do offer a number of different kinds of clues. I won't go through all of these, but maybe pick some of the ones that organizations find more relevant. Case-sensitive clues can be very useful for matching acronyms. Metadata clues can help determine what a document is about. Concept searching supports regular expressions to easily identify social security numbers, credit card numbers, part numbers, or any other pattern. Required term will tie one term to another, generally a parent term. Language, we support up to 70 different languages. Term boost reflects the relationship between terms. And then finally, hierarchical and static are very good for highlighting or creating exceptions to different parent-child relationships. Okay, so we created this coal mining term set in pretty short order, and it does beg the question, hey, how good is the auto classification going to be with so little effort put into creating this term set? And the honest answer is it won't be 100%. I'm going to invoke the 80-20 rule here, that I think we can very quickly through this process attain an 80% level of accuracy. But certainly the goal is to get as close to 100% as possible. And I think we all know that sometimes that last 20% can be very difficult. It certainly underscores the need to have some refining capabilities. And so to that end, we do offer some tools. And so I'm going to go back here to environmental protection, and let's take a look at environmental sustainability. So I'm going to look at that. And to start off, so I'm going to again click on the Suggest Clues link. I'm going to make a couple of choices. Okay, so working like this, I can make a number of changes to the definition of environmental sustainability. I can reclassify documents based on my modifications. But the trouble is, this is based a bit on hope. How can I be sure that the changes I've made is really fixing my problem? How can I be sure my classification precision is getting better and not worse? So to solve this problem, concept searching provides an instant feedback mechanism that allows the administrator to assess the effectiveness of their changes and to do so in a non-production environment. So I'm going to the Browse tab, click on that, and that will pull up the documents that were originally classified as being about environmental sustainability. And I'm going to check this Show Document Movements filter. Click on that. And now what's happening is these documents are reclassified immediately using our modified definition for environmental sustainability. And once done, we see a new line under the document title that tells us the impact of our changes on the document's classification score. So certainly we hope to see that the scores have increased And just scrolling down, we can see that we've done pretty well. And let's see if there's any that decreased, because it does happen sometimes. Well, in this instance, it looks like they all increased, so that's a good sign. And so now we might be wondering here, what is the basis for this score? So we can just click on the calculations icon here, and this is going to pull up the basis, again, for the classification scores. So we get to see what clues are used. We get to see any boosting that has taken place in here between parent sibling. So that gives us a good basis, and can help point us back to which clues might need to be modified. So I did mention earlier that these scores were generated automatically based on statistical correlation. But just as with manual tagging, we might find that for our organization, that just because a score was achieved based on statistical correlation, it might need to be increased or decreased depending on the needs of the organization in order to help classify, certain documents, or maybe even eliminate certain documents from classification that we don't want classified. So we do allow for that. You simply need to click on the edit feature here, and we can go in and we can make changes. Like for example, here I could boost this up to 50, which I had said before was an important threshold. Okay, so that is a great way to actually, again, to provide some instant feedback as to the effectiveness of any changes, and to do so outside a production environment. Now, certainly there's some environments that might be a little more complex, might be a little more sophisticated, that might need something maybe a little more powerful, impactful. And to that end, we have incorporated a number of reports into our capabilities here, and I'm just going to go over some of them that again, I feel like the most impactful ones. So first, classification misses. And let me pull up the results here first, and then show you what we're looking at. Okay, so this reports on documents that almost reached the threshold for classification, but missed being classified by 20% or less. And it's here that we're able to toggle that percentage. So we're able to move it up to 20 or down. Okay, the next report I'd like to highlight is clues coverage. Okay, so clue coverage provides a report on the usage of clues within classification tagging. So this can assist in highlighting clues that are not aiding the classification process, or clues that are too vague. All right. Now, I did talk before about the ability of concept searching to help with intelligent migration. I think a key component of any intelligent migration initiative would be the ability to dedupe, so duplicate detection. So we have two reports here: duplicate detection, near duplicate detection. I'll click on the duplicate detection. And so as the name implies, it provides a list of documents that are considered duplicates within the index using checksum matching. Okay, and finally, we'll just click on a manual tagging report. Because if you are allowing manual tagging, this is the document that I manually tagged earlier in the demonstration. So, this can be helpful, that if you are allowing manual tagging and you see some recurring manual tags, that then might see a need as an administrator to incorporate that into the taxonomy. Okay, so that concludes the administrator experience. All right, in summary, the concept classifier platform reduces the cost of content ownership. It reduces risk with searchable, findable, and organized content. It leverages automatic population of metadata to the managed metadata fields, saving time and human resources. It is highly scalable and a flexible approach to effectively managing content. Its unique concept identification enables the creation of organizationally defined taxonomies, reducing taxonomy development time by 80% versus competing products. Tagging and auto-classification of content can be aligned to business goals, and semantic metadata generated integrates with any search engine or third-party application that can interface via web services. That brings us to the end of our demo on demand. Thank you for watching, and if you would like any information on our products or would like to request a personalized demonstration, please visit our website and get in touch with us.